Today's session will be conditional statements. First, let's understand what is this conditional statements, and then we'll start writing the programs or learn how to write the programs on these conditional functions. Okay. Conditional statement means having some conditions. Depending on some criteria, I should get a result. Say, for example, let's check with a normal Excel formula. I have a value, say 5,000. If the value is greater than 4,000, then I need that to be high. Otherwise, it should be low. A very simple example. Say equals, if this value is greater than 4,000, then I'll say it should be high. Else, it should be low. If I say enter, depending on these criteria, if it is true, I'll get high. If it is false, I'll get low. Similarly, if you want to do same thing in macros, I have the same kind of logic. That is, if the statement is true or the condition is true, then what result I should get? If it is false, what result I should get? It is very easy to remember. Again, don't get confused. If conditions or say conditional statements are very simple, but when to use that you have to decide. Whenever I'm actually trying to check a condition or whenever I'm trying to work on some criteria, then I'll be using this conditional statements. So there are different conditional statements which I'll explain one by one. Okay. Now the purpose of using this conditional statement is when I want to check some criteria, then I'll be using this conditional statements. Fine. Now what we'll do? First thing I told you, we'll save this file. Say Control S. I'll go to the folder VBA online session and I'll say macro enabled workbook and we'll say session 4. Say save. Next is renaming the objects. Go here. I'll say WKS if Alt F11. We'll go to our VB editor. We'll rename the sheet. Now we are ready for writing the macros. Next step is I need to insert a module. Right click, insert module, F4, let's say mod underscore if condition. Yes. Now let's start writing the program. Sub, that is subroutine. First we'll see with simple if statement. Let's say if condition, just a if. The previous session we learned how to use these data types. Now what we'll do is we'll go and we'll check the data what we're actually trying to check, what kind of data type it is. Let's assume that the value what I'm giving here, let's say I'll give 6,000. The value what I'm giving here will not exceed 32,767. That means I'll go for integer now. Let's assume that this is a sales value. I want to get the status. The result should be like this. If this value is greater than 5,000, then I should get high. That means the condition, put the condition here. If it is greater than 5,000, I should get high. This is my condition. Let's go and here first thing what I'll do, I'll set name int sales as integer. In the previous session I mentioned we should use this int so that it will be easy for me to recognize what kind of variable I'm actually trying to assign. Next, I'll try to assign the value which is in this cell to this variable. That means int sales equals wks if dot range of, so what is the cell address? D5 dot value. That means now the value what is there in D5 that has been assigned to int sales, that is the variable. Now we'll go and check how this condition statement works. Say if int sales, the condition is greater than 5,000, then I'll say hi. Sorry. Then we'll say wks if dot range of e5 dot value is equal to hi. Okay, fine. Now if you see this, let's understand the syntax and then we'll try to run the program. Here, first thing I took the value int sales into this d5 dot value into sales. Next, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to run a statement wherein it will check the condition if this int sales is greater than 5,000. If it is greater than 5,000, that means the value here e5 should be high. Let's run this. I'm getting high here. Here, this is one line statement where it will execute only if it is true statement. Let me change the value here to 4,000. Let me clear this. I'll go back. Now let me run this. See, value is not executing. Let's go back. If this condition is true, then only this statement will get executed. If this statement is false, this statement is not executed. This is the basic if conditions. In this condition, in this type, only the true statement will be executed. Same thing, I'll go here, say sub if condition, say if to dim int sales as integer, int sales equals wcase if dot range of d5 dot value. Here I've written one statement, if the condition, then I'm trying to assign one value if it is true. Same thing I can do like this as well. If int sales is greater than 5,000, then Endif. Here I'll put this statement. Just copy this and I'll paste it. Both programs are same. Here I'm directly taking in one line, but here I'm mentioning that say if int sales is greater than 5,000, then I'll say e5 equals high. In this case, in this syntax, I have to mention endif. But if you go and check here, I don't require endif here because here this will execute only one statement. That means if you're writing a macro where you're executing only one statement based on this condition, then go for this type, this syntax. But suppose if you think that there are multiple statements to be executed, say in this case I have only one statement, I can use either this or this. Let's take one more example. I'll copy this. Now I want one more statement to be executed here. I'll say wcase if range of fi dot value equals int sales divided by 100. Just one more statement, just a random statement I'm giving here. Say this statement, this syntax, we cannot work in this one because here I can execute only one statement. But if you want to execute more than one statement, I can use if condition, then statements, and then I'll say endif. Let me execute this. See, oh, condition is false, we'll make it true. Now let's execute this. See, I'm getting the result here. Let's go back and understand. I told you, see, in this case, only the true statements are getting executed. If you see here, I have this condition. If this is true, only these statements will get executed. What if this statement is false? If the statement is false, let me make it again 4000. See, I'll run either this program or this program or this program. I'll not get any result. See, press F5. See, I'm not getting any results. The reason is, if this condition is false, these statements are not executed. So what should I do if you want false statement to be executed? Then let me go here. Let me copy this and I'll paste it here. Here I'll mention it as Elseif. The same syntax. Here I have this true statement. If I have a false statement, then I'll go here. I'll say else. It says if condition, then the statement. If this is false, if this condition is false, then it will go to this else statement. Let me copy this, paste it here. Here I'll mention it as low. If condition is true, then this statement is executed. If it is false, it will go to this statement and it will execute here. Now let me execute. See, that means the false statement is getting executed. Let's debug this. Debug in the sense, yesterday in the previous session I mentioned F8 to debug the statement. See, say F8. Now if you go and check this, see it says 4000. That means 4000 is greater than 5000, which is actually false. Now what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll just try to execute this. See, this statement is executed and it will end the program and I'll get the result in E5. Suppose there are multiple conditions to be checked. Multiple conditions in the sense, say I have one statement here. It says int sales is greater than 5000. What if I want to check one more condition? If the sales value is greater than 2000 and less than 5000, then it should be medium. Then I should use one more true statement there. If you feel that there are multiple true statements to be executed, then what I'll do is I'll use something called as Elseif. Let me copy this, paste it here, and I'll say else if. So if this is the first condition, if it is true, it will execute here. Suppose if I want to have one more condition here, I'll say else if int sales is greater than 2000, then let me copy this, put it here. I'll say medium. Let me save this. See, now it says int sales is greater than 5000. If the condition is true, this statement is executed. It will come here. If it is false, it will come to this statement. If this condition is true, it will execute this statement. Suppose if these two conditions are not true, then it will execute this statement. Let me execute this, say Fi. See, now it becomes medium. That means this value falls from 2000 to 5000. Anything above 5000, it will go to this statement. Anything from 2000 to 5000, it will come to this statement. If these two conditions are false, then it will come to this statement. Let's summarize this again. Let's go to this first program. See, if I have only one condition with only one statement, then I can use this syntax. If I have multiple statements, I can use this syntax. But if I have one condition to be checked and only one statement, I can also write in this syntax as well. If I have multiple conditions to be checked, then I can use else if. And if I want to execute a false statement or if I need a default statement, then I can use else statement. If I'm using this if statement, endif must be there. If endif. If I'm using else statement, see, if else endif. In this syntax, I should use only once. If should be only once. else should be only once, endif should be only once. But if I'm using this Elseif, I can use multiple times. That means if I need multiple true statements to be executed, I should use else if. I should not use this if statement. I'll tell you the common mistakes, what people will do. I'll show you what error you will get if you're doing these mistakes. Let me copy this. I'll put it here. I'll just mention it as mistakes. So what people will do, let's say anything above 5,000 is high. Anything above 3,000 will make it as medium. Anything above 2000 will say average, and anything less than that should be low. I'll add one more condition here saying else if int sales is greater than, let's say, 2000, then we'll say average. Now this program is right. Let me execute this. I'm getting the result. But I've seen some people or say what they do is they'll use like this: if, and if, like this. This will not work. As I told you, in a syntax, in a block, we call it as block, you should have one if statement. If I have multiple true statements, then this should be else if, else if. See, now I'll run this program. It will say block if without end if. That means one if, it should have one end if. If I have this if here, then I should have one more end if for this if statement. Otherwise, I should mention it as else if, like this. If, else if, else if, else, end if. Fine. This is one mistake. Other thing is, people will think that this else statement compulsorily should be there if I'm using this if statement. No. Let's go back to the previous program. See here, I've used if, end if. I've not used else. Suppose if you think that I don't require any default statement, then you can ignore this. If I'm not giving this, if I'm not specifying here the else statement, see, I'll go and I'll make it 1000, and if I delete this, see, if I execute this program, nothing will come because the default statement or the false statement is not mentioned there. So what will happen if I'm not mentioning? It will not execute. It will go and it will say, I'll debug this, say F8, this is false. Again, it will go and check, this is also false. This statement is also false. It will end. Suppose if I had one else statement like this, then what it will do? It will check this condition. Yes, this is false. It will go to next condition. This is also false. It will go to next condition. Then if none of these conditions are true, what it will do by default, it will execute this program. If you go and check this, now it will say low. Let's come back. Next, one more mistake what people will do is they'll think that, okay, I will put this else statement anywhere. Let's go and put this else statement in the beginning somewhere here. This again is not correct. If and else. See, I'll try to run this. See, once I get this else, the next it should end actually. How it actually works, I'll tell you. The conditional statements always first check the true statements. If none of them are true, then it will go for false statement. And I can have only one else statement as I discussed previously. So this else statement should always be in the end of the conditional block, conditional statement block here like this. Never put this anywhere you want. Okay, so you should take care of these things while you're working on if conditions. Otherwise, you might make a lot of mistakes. So keep in mind, if statement will have one if, one end if, and one else. Else if, you will use it only when you have multiple conditions to be checked. Else is a default. If you don't want this, it's an optional. If you want, you can add it. Otherwise, you can ignore it. If you add it, it will be like a default value. If you're not adding it, there is no false value or say default value executed if you're using without this else statement. Okay, so this is the if condition. This is the beginning of if condition to understand how the syntax works. I'll give you more examples. So before that, if you have any doubts, ask me, and then I'll continue with more examples. Any doubts, people? Ask me if you have any doubts. Then I'll continue with the examples. Hello? Hello?
No doubts.
No doubts?
Nothing.
Hello? I cannot hear you guys. No doubts? If no doubts,
Nothing.
then I'll proceed.
Nothing.
Okay.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, good. So if you don't have doubts, that means either you're understanding or you're not understanding. So how is it? You're understanding? All of you? I assume that you're understanding. Yeah?
Yeah, understand.
Yeah, we are understanding.
Very good, very good. Okay, so I'll then let me go with more examples. So this is the syntax what we learned, that is how to use this conditional statements. Let's take one example. Let's take age of a person and let's say the status. Let me take this condition and I'll put it here. It will be easy for you guys to understand. Let me move this. Let's take the condition like this. If the age is 0 to 12, let's say it should be kid. Let's take from 13 to 19, should be teenage. From 20 to 40, let's say young. 41 to 70, let's say adult. If is greater than 70, then we'll say old. Let's say I've got a requirement like this. I need to write a program on these conditions. What will happen is, see, the question is 0 to 12, so 13 to 19, 20 to 40, 41 to 70, greater than 70 is old. When you're going for an interview, or if a client gives any the task like this or assignment like this, or if you're getting a project like this, don't straight away go and start writing the program. That is actually the wrong way of proceeding with writing the programs. First, let's understand what is the task or what is the assignment, what is the project given to us. It says 0 to 12, 13 to 19, 20 to 40, 41 to 70, and greater than 70. So what we'll do is we'll classify this. Like in previous program, I mentioned greater than 5,000, greater than 2,000. We'll go with higher to lower. I'll show you in different scenarios how you can write this programs, okay, with different syntax. First, what I'll do, I'll say greater than 70, then I'll say greater than 40, then we can say here greater than 19, and say greater than 12, and else statement, right? So I can use something like this. Let's go and start writing a program. Here, I'll say sub get age. Let's take this age, which will be here, let's say 67. Now, in the previous session, we discussed that if the value is not crossing 255, then I'll be using byte. So in this case, what I'll do, I'll go and I'll try to use the data type as byte. Tim byte age as byte. Let's take this value into one variable, wks if dot range of, I'll say I5. Say dot value. Now I got this value. Now I'll say if byte age is greater than 70, then now what I'll do, instead of typing the statements for every conditions, first let's put all the conditions and then we'll put the statement. That will be more easy and it's a good practice as well. So what are the conditions I just explained? Say greater than 70, then I'll say greater than 40. Else if, I told you don't put if here because I'm checking another condition. Say byte age is greater than 40, then else if byte age is greater than, what is the next one? We'll say greater than 19. Then else if byte age is greater than 12. Then else enter. See, these are the conditions. Let's first understand the conditions here. If it is greater than 70, then I'll say it is old. If it is greater than 40, that means greater than 40 means what will happen? It will become 41. 41 to 70. See, 41 to 70 is adult. Next one is greater than 19. That means 20 till 40. See, greater than 40 means it will say till 40. The next 13 to 19. I'm saying greater than 12. That means 12 to 19. Else this one. So this one simple conditions what we are giving. I'll go here. Let me put the statement here. Say WKS if range of this one, that is J5 dot value equals old. Fine. Next, if you want, you can copy this, you can paste it. It says old. The next one is adult. And next, copy this, put it here. I'll take this young. Next one is teenage. And the end, I'll say kid. Fine. See, my program is ready. If it is, if you want, you can give one space here for better understanding. If it is greater than 70, that means it will say old. If it is less than 70 but greater than 40, then it will be adult. If it is less than this 40 and greater than this 19, then I'll say young. Then the next level, if it is greater than 12 and less than this one, then it will be teenage. If none of these conditions are true, then it will go to kid. Let me execute this. It says 67. That means this condition will go here. I'll say F8. See, byte is 67. Now let me execute this. Is 67 is greater than 70, which is false. It will go to next statement. It will not execute this because this is false. It will go to next statement. 67 is greater than 40. Yes. What it will do? It will execute this statement and it will come out of the block. It will not execute other statement because in a if statement, in a if block, only one statement will be executed. I'll say F8. See, it says adult. That means it will fall under this category. Let me give something else. Let me give 7. Let's run this. See, 7 is greater than 70. No. 7 is greater than 40. No. 7 is greater than 90. No. 7 is greater than 12. No. None of the conditions are true. It will go to the else statement. See, it says kid. So whatever value you give, it will give me the result according to the condition what I mentioned here. Let me run this. I'll say F5. It says young. That means it is falling in this category. Let's go back. What if someone enters 200? It is not the right age. I'll go here. If I execute this, what will happen? It will give me this result because 200 is greater than 70. It will say old. Syntax wise, there is no error. There is no problem at all with the program. I'm not getting any errors because 200 is greater than 70. It is saying old. But I need to restrict this program saying that it should be, the user should not give more than 100. In that case, what we have to do is, it's not that always my syntax without errors is always right. We also have to think in a different way. That is, I want to see and put some validations. So how to put the validations? Let's check. I'll go here. The beginning, I'll say if byte age is greater than 100, then paste it here. I'll say invalid age. The beginning itself, I'll say if the value is greater than 100, make it invalid. Then now I told you only one if statement should be there. This one I'll change to else if. Let me run this. See, it says invalid age because I have given one more condition here saying that if a person or say the user is entering greater than 100, then it should mention as invalid age. Fine. Next, let's take the same example and I'll show you some more mistakes what people will do while doing the programs. Right. This is the program what we had. Now, let me change the order. I will take this and I'll put it somewhere here on top. Now, if you see this syntax wise, I have no errors. I'll not get any errors here because you have followed all these syntax. If condition, one if condition, one else statement, one end if, then else if are used here for other conditions. Now let's go here and I'll give 80 and try to execute this. See, F4, that's 2. See, 80 is greater than 100, which is false. We'll go to the next statement. Now what will happen is it says 80 is greater than 40, which is true. It will execute this statement and it will come out of the block. It says 80 as adult, but what was supposed to be my result? It should have been this one, greater than 70, which should be old. But if you are using something like this, the order is not proper, then what will happen is you might get wrong results. These are actually the logical errors. These logical errors occur when I'm actually not giving a proper order of the conditions. The order of the condition also matters because the if conditions are sequential, it will get executed one by one like this. So it will execute this, then it will execute this, then this. So it goes on. But suppose if I've already given like this, what should I actually do to get the right results? In these cases, the operators play a very, very important role. What are operators? This one, greater than, less than, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Those operators will help us in solving this problem. How? Let's go here. What I'll do is I'll say else byte age is greater than 40, and here I'll say and byte age is less than, say, 70, less than 70. And again, you should be careful here. I'll tell you what will happen. Let's go and check this. It says 80. Now let me run this. It will come here. Now 80, it will go and check. 80 is greater than 40, which is true. I'm using this AND operator and I'm saying 80 is less than 70, which is false. When I'm using AND operator, keep in mind the conditions what I'm checking. Here I'm checking two conditions. Condition 1, condition 2. Condition 1, it says 80 is greater than 40, which is true. Second condition is saying 80 is less than 70, which is false. If it is AND operator, both the conditions should be true, then only it will get executed. If one condition is false, it will not execute. That means this condition, though one condition is true, other condition is false, it will move on to the next statement. That means this statement is not executed. It will come to this here. It says 80 is greater than 70, then it will execute and it will give me the results. So one issue got solved. But here there is one more problem. What is that? Let me give 70 and let's try to run this program now. I'll run this. See, here it says 70 is greater than 100. Okay, it will move. 70 is greater than 70, which is again false. It will move. 70 is greater than 19. Yes, it will give me this result. Now go and check. It says 70 is young. No errors here. No syntax errors. No intimation of errors came. But still I'm getting the wrong result. So you should be very careful With these kind of simple things, why I'm telling is, though you don't get errors, you might get wrong result. This is not error result, this is like wrong result. If I'm not giving any syntax like this, see, then what it'll do? It'll give me error like this. It'll throw error saying that something is missing. This I can correct. But in these kind of things, how can I actually correct? I have to go and check each and every statement now. What was the mistake here? See, I mentioned previously it was working fine, but when I gave 70, it's not working. The reason is I given here 70, but nowhere I given that 70 to be equals. See, here I'm saying byte age is less than 70. That means less than 70 is 69. Greater than 70 is 71. Where will that 70 fall? Then what it will do, it will move on to the next statement where the statement is getting true. So here it is true, it will give me eng. So what is the solution for that? Either I'll go here, I'll put equals here, that is greater than or equal to, and now if I run this program, see, it will say old, but according to this condition 41 to 70 should be adult. Then what I'll do, I'll remove equals here and I'll put equals here. Now if I run this, see, F5, see, now I'll get this adult because I mentioned it less than or equals to. So you should be very careful with these kind of things. You write a program with very small statements, no problem. 1 or 2 lines, start practicing like that. But don't think that I'll be writing a very lengthy code and do some kind of mistake here and get into some mess. Okay, these are the common mistake what people will do. See, here we worked on a program where I'm taking this age and then I'm checking whether it is matching the conditions, and here we saw some validations and we also saw some operators which will come into rescue my conditions which I'm checking in not in a sequential order, that is in a improper order. That is, here previously we had this 70, then again 40, then 19 in the lower order, but here there is no order. I'm just trying to put the numbers wherever I feel. If you are doing like that, make sure that your operators are given properly. This is very much important. Fine. Next is, see, let me just save this. Whatever we saw till now was the condition to be checked for numbers. When I say for numbers, I am having these operators greater, less than, greater than, or equals to, less than or equals to, or say equals. So any of these operators I can use. If you want to check multiple conditions, I'm using AND operator or OR operator. Now let's see how we can do the same thing for text. Let me go here. Let's say I'll take one very simple example. Say region and say region code. Here again I'll mention region, say region code. Let me put regions here: north, east, west, and say south. If I'm mentioning the region north here, I should get N. Let's say east should be E, west should be W, and south it should say yes. So when I'm using this region, if I'm using this north, I should get the region code as N, or whatever region I'm mentioning, so that I should get here. How to do that? Let's say Alt F11. Let's take a new program, say sub get region code. Let's take this value. Now when I'm taking this value, this is a string, that is text. So what I'll do, I'll say temp str region as string. Again, see, everywhere I'm using this prefix, so have the habit of using this prefix so that you'll have a good practice, as well as you'll get used to it, so that when it comes to complex programs also you'll not forget these prefix. Okay, fine. Let's say str region equals double case if range, then I'll take this p5 dot value yes. Next, We'll try to take the conditions here. If str region equals north, then I'll put all the conditions. Str region equals east. Then let me copy this. I'm just trying to tell you guys the easiest way of doing this. See, then I'll say else Endif. Here I'll say west. Here I have this four regions. I'll say if it is north N, east E, west W. If none of this, then I'll say south. Let's go here. I'll copy this. Say Q5 dot value is equal to N. Let me copy this. Paste it here. And then I'll say E, W, and say S. Done. My program is done. Now let me execute this program. I'll say Fi. See, I'm getting this north and N. Let me change this to west. Let me run this. Fi. See, I'm getting this W. My program is fine. Now let me type south. Since I've not given south here, see, nowhere I've given south, north, east, west. If none of this, then I'll say it will execute this program, I mean this statement. When I give south, what will happen? It will go and will check, see, north, all these are false. So if none of these conditions are true, then it will go to this false statement and it will give me S. Till now it is fine. But where will I find it? The wrong results. Let's say if someone say type like this, north, east. Now if I execute this program, I'll get say south, which is yes, because nowhere I've mentioned here as south. So you should think of these things as well. It's not that just I'm writing the program and done without any errors. You should not do that. As a programmer, you should think about so many other things as well. Now what should I do? If the user is entering any region apart from these four regions, then it should say invalid region code. So what to do? What we'll do for that? Let me copy this. I'll retain all these code for you so that it will be easy for you to recognize. Say 2. Here what I'll do? I'll say Elseif str region equals south. Then let me copy this. I'll put it here. If none of these four conditions, then I'll say invalid region code. Save this. Now let me execute this. See, it says invalid region code. Let's put this into one button. The shape. Let me take one shape. Then I'll take this program. Right click, assign macro, and I'll paste it. Now let me say north. And I'll say, see, I'm trying to execute that. Instead of going there and typing, I'm just using this button. Let me just format this. Say get region. Let me type south. Click on this. Say northeast. Click on this invalid region code. Yes. Now we gave one validation. We checked all the four regions, and now my program is fine. But again, there is one more problem here. What is that? Let me type north. Now if I execute this program, see, I'll execute. See, I'm getting invalid region code. Though I've given this north, see, I'm getting this invalid region code. Let's go back and check what is the problem. See, I've given north. but still it is saying invalid region code. Guys, keep in mind, when I'm actually working on this text and I'm trying to check the values, or say the text in a condition, make sure that it is case sensitive. This north and this north, they are not equal. In Excel they are equal, but in program they are not equal. This north is different from this north. See, I'll go and I'll make it as caps. Now if I run this, it will give me n. But if I go and change any of this case, see, it will say invalid. So how to handle this? This is also important. I told you, it's not that just writing a program, finishing it without any errors. That is not a the professional programmers way of writing a program. He has to take care of all these things, the validations, the bugs what you might get. How to rectify this? I'll show you. It's a very simple thing. Copy this, paste it. Let me 3. Next, what we'll do, I have this str region which is taking this value as p5. We'll use this logic. What is that logic? I have a function called as upper. So what this upper will do is it will convert the characters into uppercase. You give in any format. See, whatever format you give, N, O, R, T, H. See, H is caps. Still it says caps. We'll use the same concept here as well. So what I'll do here, this str region, what I'm taking, while assigning the value here, I have a function called as uCase, and I'll give that uCase here. This will convert the value whatever we are taking into uppercase. Now I'll change the condition here, say north. I'm giving it as caps. East, say west, and I'll say south. See, what will happen in this case? See, uCase will convert this value into uppercase no matter whatever way you are specifying the value in this p5. While checking the condition, what I'm doing, I'm trying to check the value by caps like this. Now let's go and run this program. See, I think this is a different program. I'll just copy this, assign macro. See, yeah, you give in any format. See, run this. Yes, these things you should keep in mind. First, we did one simple macro, that is just to call the conditions. Then we thought there will be some problem in entering. If they enter some wrong data, then what should I do? Then I gave invalid code. Then we checked about the case sensitivity, wherein if the value what you entered and what I'm checking is not matching, then what should I do? That is, I'm trying to change the case. Let me open the file what I'll be sharing with you, and I'll show you. Conditional statement. See, the same example, whatever is there, I given here. I'll be giving this file to you guys. You can work on that. See, everything, whatever I've thought, it is there here. Say F11. Go here. See, first statement, what we did. So all this with explanation, it is there here. You can go through and you can work on that. Still, there are some topics I'll explain. I'm just showing you the file what I'm sending you today. See, that also is there here with explanation I've given, so that you can refer this and you can work on this. So I've given with buttons here like this. See, same thing I've given here, so you can work on this. Fine. Any doubts in this? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No doubts?
Sir, Mahesh here.
Mahesh, yes.
So this result tab, I mean, can we assign a data type for it? Because we know in this result, it will be only strings. So can we assign this?
And you can do
data
it.
type for the result as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can do it. See, I'll tell you what. When you're actually trying to declare a variable, first you should think whether it is actually using multiple times. Then only you should declare. When you're actually declaring a variable, what will happen? It will occupy some space in the memory. Okay. First, you should think whether I need it or not. When I'm actually giving this output here, this output I'm not using again somewhere. So for that, what I'll do, I'm directly taking the value. But yes, you can do it. For example, now I have this. Say, we'll take this example. Let's say str region equals UK. So whatever. The what I can do is here I can take one more variable. Say str. Say result as string. Okay. In this case, what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll say str result equals n. Here I'll say equal to e. Because this is a string, so I'm using this, and I'll say invalid. See, I given like this. Now this variable will have the result. Now I need to again put this to this cell. Then for that, what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll take like this equals str result. This way also you can do. So what I did here, I'm taking the value and I'm putting it into one variable. Once the value is there in this variable, that I'll be assigning to p5. Previously, what I did in this example, see, sorry, so it should be q5. Sorry. So here directly I'm taking the value, saying q5 equals n. But if you go and check here, what I did, I took that into a variable and then I'm assigning the value which is there in the variable to q5. Now, if I run this, I'll get the same result. There is nothing wrong in taking this way as well or this way as well. But when you feel that these variables are used multiple times, then try to assign it. Otherwise, also you can use like this. This is another way. You can do like this as well. Okay. Fine. Did I answer your question, Mahesh?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, Somshekar here.
So
Regarding that previous example, that age one.
one minute.
Why is that if I was,
Yes.
yeah, if I was there, I would have taken it in the other order. I mean, you came from 100 to reducing, but I would have taken it in the same order.
Okay.
Is there
So
any specific reason you?
nothing like that. Nothing like that. See, if you are going no, from lower to upper, then this should become less than.
Yes,
That's
yes.
nothing. See,
Oh.
I told you for one problem there are 100 solutions.
Okay.
For
Okay.
one program or say for one task, there are 100 way of using the logics. You can develop your own logics. It's not that you
Okay.
have to do it the same way. Here, see, but the better practices go from top to bottom. So there is a better
Okay.
practice actually. But again, if you're going, say, if by age is less than 12, it should be kid. Then again, less than 12 or whatever, say less than 19, then teenage. You can use less than here. So you cannot use greater than that time. If I'm coming from top to bottom, then use greater. If I'm using lower to upper, then use lesser sign. There is nothing
Less
wrong.
than.
Nothing wrong. You can do it.
Oh. Oh.
But make sure that the value will fall under like this. So you should not
Yeah,
go
the certain limit.
this. You should actually take care. Otherwise, you might end up with wrong results.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. Any other questions? No questions? You guys need a break or shall I continue? Tell me soon so that let's not waste
I
time.
mean,
If you want, I'll continue. Otherwise,
yes,
if you want 5 minutes break, then we can take a break. Tell me yes or no. For that, you're taking 5 minutes.
I will not request from my side.
Others, quickly tell me. Continue? Okay, fine.
Yes.
I think people are full energy in this Sunday. Yeah. I think there is no Sunday, Monday, or anything. Every day is same now. Fine. Next is we'll see some more examples. See, I'll tell you what. If conditions are, that's all. Nothing more to learn in this. You should know how to use this if and if. If I need default value, then else. If you want to use more true statement, then else if. That's all. This, if you keep in mind, you can work on any kind of conditions. Okay, fine. Next is we'll see how to use nested if. We'll go here. We'll see nested if. So what is this nested if? Nested if means having if condition inside a if condition. Like in Excel, we have nested if, say equals if, then again inside that if, one more if. Likewise, here I can have multiple if statements. Let's take like this. I have, say, laptop, mobile, and say TV. I have 3 products, and let's say I have 3 countries. Let's make it very simple. Now let's say here I'll mention it as country. Should be, we'll mention the country later. I'll say product, and then here we'll say price, and I'll say discount. Here I'll say final price. Just one scenario I'm just creating. Okay, now if it is USA, let's say I'll take these 3 products. That discount will be, let's say, for laptop it is 500, for mobile let's say 250, for TV I'll say 150. Let's keep it like this. Let's take for India. We'll say 250, and here I'll say 150, and here I'll say 100. If it is for US, then here let's say 750, 500, say 250. So if you see here, I have different discount values for different products in different countries. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll mention a country, I'll say USA, laptop. Let's make it like this. I'll say, we'll take a lesser value only, say 5,000. Now I need to get the discount value and the price, the final price, based on these 2 conditions, say country and product. If I say USA, then laptop, it is 500 as discount. I should get the value here. Then this final price will be this minus, so this minus this, and I should get the final price. That means I'm checking one condition is the country, other condition is the product, right? So based on that, I have to get this discount value and then the final price based on this price minus discount value, right? At F11. Let's go save this. This is just a scenario, okay? Just a simple example I'm giving. You can relate to your example or say your project data. Go here, I'll say sub, say get final price. Here I have to take 2 conditions, that is this one and this one, country and product. Both are actually string now, Tim, and I'll say str country as string, Tim str product as string. So I've taken this 2 variable. Immediately I will assign the value for that. Country equals wks if dot range of, we'll take this aa5 dot value. Let me copy this and I'll say product. Here this will be a b. So here I'm not going to show you that use case and all. If you want, you can put that use case and then put that validations. So in text, it's a good practice to have that use case, but I'm assuming that I'll type a correct names here, so I'll not go and do that as well. If you want, you can practice that by using this use case. Okay, fine. Now what I'll do, I'll try to check the condition. So what we'll do, I'll say if str country equals USA, then let me put all the conditions. If str country equals India, then else if str country equals US. So what I've given, I'll make it as UK. Sorry. Just changing it. Say UK, then else Endif. See, first is I'm checking the country. USA, India, UK. If none of these conditions are true, then it will go to this else statement. Now let's go here. Inside this, I want to check one more condition. If it is US, in that what is the product? That means in this, I'll say if str product equals laptop, then else if str product equals mobile, then else if str product equals TV, then else Endif. Can you see this? Now this condition, whatever we had, this is for the country. Inside this, I'm having one more condition here. Now what I'll do, if it is US and if it is laptop, that means this value, the discount value, whatever is there, should be 500, 250 or 150. So what we'll do, if you want, you can put that into one more variable. I'll say dim int discount as integer. We'll take this here, say the discount will be 500. Next, the total price can be discount minus this. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll say AD5. We'll do that in the end. First, we'll take all the discount value. Then here, let's say discount value is what? 250. Then next, we have TV 150. Else, we'll say message box invalid product. Right? Okay, see, for USA, I gave one more condition block inside that. Now you don't have to again code everything, just copy that because I have the same product. If you had a different product, then you have to change. Now in India, also I have the same product. I'll paste it inside this. See, I just pasted the same code here. Now the discount value will change. It says 250, 150 and 100. So I'll go here. I'll just change this 250, then 150, and then I'll say 100. Fine. Next, for UK, it says 750, 500, 250. Go here, say 750, 500, and say 250. Here, I'll say message box invalid country. See this, don't get confused. I have one condition block here, that is if, that is for the country. We'll mention it as country. And what I have here, this is for the product. See, product, have this condition. Here again I have this product for this country, and here I have this product for this country. If the country is invalid, then it will go and execute this one. But if the product is invalid, it will execute inside this. Now I'll tell you what actually you should do. When I'm typing the conditional statement, can you see that I use this tab? Why we should use this tab? See here, this block is inside this. Some people, what they do, you go here, let me just see where is that indentation. See here, I have this indentation. See, if I'm doing like this, let me take this as well. Some people have the habit of writing program like this. See, I'll not know which is the main if condition block, how much is the product if condition block. See, if and if it is totally confusing, but suppose if you are using like this, see, if I can easily know that this is for this block, see, and this one, can you see that I have for this block, and even the statement I've given tab here. See, always try to use this indentation so that you'll not miss or confuse any of the blocks. Always have this habit, and don't think that it's very difficult for me to learn all these things. All these will come by experience, practice this. Say when you're writing a program, just use tab here for this. If you go and check in the video, after I'll give this video, just go and check how I actually have given the tab space for every condition block here. Fine. So I've given the conditions. Now what I'll do, I'll go here. I have this discount here. I'll mention AD5, that is WKS if AD5 dot value equals, what is the value? The price value. So I've not taken that into any variable, so I can directly take, no problem. I'll say AC dot value minus INT discount. Now what will be the final price? That is AC minus discount value. Then what will be this value? AD value. That will be discount value. Let me put it here. We'll change this AE. See, AD is nothing but the discount value, and AE5 is nothing but AC value minus this discount value. Let's run this. Let's check this. See, USA laptop. USA laptop is 500. Let's change this to India. Now I should get 250. Let's run the program. See, I'm getting 250. Let's put this into one button. Take one button here, and I'll take this format. Say get price. And I'll assign this macro. Right click, assign macro. Now let me change this to UK. See, I'm getting the result. How it is coming? Let's go and check by debugging. See, first it will take the value, that is country and the product. Let's see what is the country it has taken. If you move your cursor here, it says UK. Then the product is laptop. Now it will go and check the country. See, if str country equals UK, this is false. It will go here. It is checking here. This is false. It will go here. If it is true, then it will go inside that statement. See, now let's go and check what is the product of given laptop. See, product is laptop. It will go here. It will take the value. It will come out of this block as well as the main block. See, then it will give me the result. Let me change this to TV. Let's go back and I'll give India. Let me run this. See, country is India now. It will not execute this. It will directly go to another statement. Then next, since this is true, it will go inside. It is checking now. The product is TV. This is false. Again, this is false. It will go here. It will execute this. It will come out of this block and the main block, and it will give me the result here. That means, see, in a very simple way, what I'm telling, nested if means I have a if block. Depending on the condition, if it is true, then it will go inside another if block. That if block, see what you see here, this if block is nothing but it is similar to if. So this is nothing but it's an if only. But if this condition is true, it will go to one more block here and it will execute exactly like what we have this if conditions. Okay, this is nested if, right? Okay. Next, how to work on objects by using this if conditions. I think in this sheet there are so many examples. Let me take one more sheet here. I'll say WKS if with object. Okay, fine. Let me just insert one shape and I'll make multiple shapes like this. Let me select this and I'll make it red and let it be blue and we'll make it green. So this example we took in our previous sessions as well. That is just as a single programs we used to do to show this red, blue or green. Now we'll see how I can do the same program in one program itself. Let me rename this SHP red. Select this SHP blue. Select this SHP green. Fine. Now what we'll do is we'll go to this developer. Okay. Maybe for some of them this is a new topic, so this is very simple. I'll tell you what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take one button here. That's all. Go to developer, go to insert. Here I have something called as radio button or option button. Click on this. I will click here. This option button is nothing but it's like a radio button, so I can select any one of them. Let me rename this to red. Then next I'll make a copy of it and I'll change the name to blue. Next I'll change the name to green. I'm just trying to design the things here. That's it. Let me just hide the grid lines. It will be easy for me to see this. See, red, blue and green. But I should know what I have clicked. So for that, what I'll do, right click, format control, and then I'll say cell link, and I'll select any of the cell here, which will give me the index number of this selected control. See, if I select this red, it says 1. Don't get confused why for red it is 1, for blue it is 2, or green it is 3. This is nothing but the buttons, that's all. This is only the label. Red, blue or green is only label. So what I'm clicking here is the index of the buttons, that's all, index number. Now what we'll do, we'll align all these three in same place like this. I'm keeping it one above the other. Let's go back. We'll write a program. Say, before that, let me just rename this. Say, enter. Okay. Sub, let's say get color. On what basis I should change this color? Based on the index number here. See, if it is 1, that means red. If it is 2, that means it is blue. If it is 3, it is green. So let me go back. Say dim int index as integer. I'll say int index. I can take byte, but still I just took this index. WKS if object dot range of n3 dot value. Okay. Now I'll say if int index equals 1, then else if int index equals 2, then else Endif. See, in this case, I'm not mentioning 3 because here the user is not typing, is selecting. So in this case, you can ignore 3 here. I can select 1, 2. If it is 3, then it is green. Why I'm not giving here 3 is the user is not entering anything here. Even if you give here else if index equals 3, there is nothing wrong. You can give like this as well, but you should give the default or say the validations if a user is typing, because user will, the program will not know what the user is typing. But in this case, the programmer know that he can select only 1, 2, and 3. But still, if you want to have this 3, you can still give. There is nothing wrong in this. Okay, fine. Now I have this 1 which shows red. If it is 2, it shows blue. If it is 3, it shows green. Otherwise, we'll say invalid selection. So before that, what I'll do is I'll go here. I'll hide all these 3 shapes. WKS if object dot shapes of SHP red dot visible equals false. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to hide everything, all the 3 objects, SHP blue, SHP green. See, I'm trying to hide everything. Now what I'll do, depending on the condition, I'm just trying to unhide the shapes. See, I'm just pasting here. Later on, I'll just try to say it is red. I'll make it true. Then here I'll say blue. I'll make it true. Then here I'll say green. I'll make it true. See, I just typed here saying that the 3 shapes should be hidden first. Then later what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to unhide only that shape which is matching with the index number here. If none of this, then I'll say message box invalid index. Okay, fine. Now what we'll do, we'll assign this macro to these 3 buttons. Yes, see here, if it is 1, then it should be red. If it is 2, it should be blue. If it is 3, it should be green. I've assigned the macro. See, I selected all 3 objects like this, and then right click and say assign macro. I assigned the macro which we have written now. You can do it individually as well, or if you are thinking that the same macro has been assigned to multiple objects, select all the objects and then you can execute it. See, I'll click on this red. Can you see that? Now what happened is all the other objects are hidden, only this is shown. See, but for me, when I actually look into it, it makes me feel that as if the shape is the color of the shape is getting changed. See, like this. How is this happening? See, if I click here, this will become 1, and since this is 1, it will go and it will execute this statement. If you go here and say 2, then this will become 2 here and it will execute this statement. If it is 3, then it will execute this statement and I'll get this green here. So I can use the if condition for these kind of objects as well. You might ask where actually I can use this. Say suppose if I have a different kind of reports, say one is market share, one is volume, or say one is sales reports or something, you can use different options, selection options. And if you want to show market share, let's say this is market share, I'll say that chart has to be shown. If I say volume chart, see, I can use this volume chart. Or if you want to navigate between the sheets, say if I click on this, it should go to chart. If I click back again, it has to come to the table. Anywhere, wherever you feel that the conditions are to be applied, you can use these kind of concepts. Okay, see here, I've used this if and that. I'm just trying to use that on the shapes as well. Okay, so this is one more type of using if statements on objects. So what you saw till now was if conditions. When I have multiple say conditions to be checked, I have something called as select case, which is just alternative of your if conditions. Select case are not much used, but they are very useful when you feel that there are multiple conditions to be checked. How to use this select case, I'll tell you. Right click, insert module. I'll change this. I'll say mod underscore select case. Let me insert one more sheet here. I'll say WKS select case, and let me save this. Select case is nothing but It will check the condition, say multiple conditions. Like what we have this nested if for multiple if statements. Let me go here. I'll say, let's take one of the examples here. Which example we'll take? We'll take this example. Let me copy this and I'll put it here. Say in D5. I have the condition, say north, east, west, south. Here I have this NEWS, which I have to put it here. If I'm using this north, then I should get N here, which we have written in this program here. See, same program I can use select case and I can do. How? Let's say sub get region, let's say by select case. First, let's understand the syntax. Let me take this value, which is there in D6. We'll rename this sheet F4. Paste it. Right. WKS select case dot range of D6 is the value. So this one has to be in one variables in dim str region as string. Let's take this and I'll put it here. Say dot value. Now previously I had used if condition. So if you want, what I'll do is I'll just take this here. You can compare it and it'll be easy for you to understand. See, here I have this same thing I've used. I've taken this value into one variable, but here I'm saying if north, if east. So here what I'll do, I'll say select case str region, and then I'll say end select. Right? I'm saying select case. I'm trying to check this condition here. Like what I'm doing this every time I'm checking the condition. Here I just have to mention here. Here what I'll do, I'll say case north, then case east, then next case west, say case, here I'll say case else. Like what I have this else statement, same thing. Here we'll change this to east and say west, then here we'll say south. See, same thing like what I had this conditions here. Here I just have to mention the case, so it will go and check whatever region. If it is matching any of this case, then I will get the results here. So it is case, and what is the result? I'll give one semicolon, and here I can specify the same conditions here like this. See, I'm just trying to give the statement. See, this is N, this is E, this is W, this is S, and here I'll say invalid region. Both are same program, but here what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to take the value here, the condition, and I'm checking with this case, say case north, what should happen? If this is north, it will go and it will execute this. If it is east, it will come here. If none of this, then it will go here. Let's run this. Say here, we'll use it as E6, sorry. Say E6. Sorry, I'll just change the complete. So it'll be E6. Okay, say D6 value, I'm just taking it into region. Now I'm trying to check this condition. Based on this condition, I should get the result here. Okay, let's say F8. What is the region here? It says north. That means it will go here. See, it will execute this. It will come saying N. Same way, what I've written here, I can use here. So instead of confusion many times checking the condition, here I'm just giving the case. It will give me the result. Let's go to one more example. So here I did one example for getting the colors. This also I'll show you how to use case statement and do. Let me put that here. So here I'm using all this same thing. I'll do here. I'll say select case. Let me just modify this. See, all these will be same, but this if conditions whatever is there, only this part will change. How? Let me just keep it down, and here I'll say select case int index and say end select. Now I have three conditions, right? 1, 2, 3 and else. So here what should I do? Say case 1, case 2, case 3, say case else. The colon, this is the syntax actually. Case 1 and then colon. So people don't think that this is case 1, case 2, case 3 is actually the serial number is 1, 2, 3. This is actually the index number what we are checking here. See if it is index as 1, index as 2, index as 3, like what we checked here. Say case north. These are the condition values. Now I'll go here, I'll take this and I'll put it here. If it is case 1, that means the red has to be shown. Then case 2, I'll say blue has to be shown. Then case 3, green has to be shown. Then I'll say case else, I'll use this. Like, let me delete this. If you want, you can go and refer that the previous program there. See the same program here. I'm using this case 1, case 2, case 3 and case else. Let me copy this and I'll try to assign this macro here. Now this is for case statement. Let's say, see, it will work in a similar manner. Same thing you can use. Any program you can use like this. This is for text. This is for, say, numbers. Sometimes you can use a range as well. I'll tell you how we can use. Let's take which example. Okay, we'll take this example. I'm just trying to give you the example like how I can use the same if condition in select statement. Okay, see, let me put this mistakes here. I'll mention it as select case, right? Okay, here it says greater than 5,000, greater than 3,000, greater than 2,000. Same thing I can use here also. I'll say select case int sales, then say end select. Fine. Now it says greater than 5,000. So how to use it greater than 5,000 in case? Say case is greater than 5,000, like this. Case is greater than 5,000. Then let me copy this. I'll say case is greater than 2,000. Then case is, we have any other things here? Okay, here it is 3,000 and here it is 2,000. Then I'll say case else. Okay, now if it is case greater than 5,000, it should be high. Let me copy this and I'll put it here. Otherwise medium, I'll put it here. If it is greater than 2,000, then it is average, and here say else low. Let me delete this. See, same thing I used here. So I can use if conditions or select case, anything you can use. If you find it difficult, say in this case, see, I have this greater than 100, greater than 70, greater than 40. So many conditions I've used. That is, I'm using Elseif, 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 Elseif multiple times. So instead, I can use this case like this. It will be more easy instead of giving multiple times the conditional statements. Here I'm just giving the condition on the values. That's all. Again and again, I'm not saying int sales is greater than 5,000, int sales is greater than 3,000. So instead, I can use something like this, which will give me the same result like what we get in if conditions. So select case is nothing but it is just an alternative for your if conditions. And usually we use this if conditions only when you have this multiple statement to be executed. Okay, otherwise you can go with normal if statement itself, because that is easy to remember, but this is easy when you have multiple conditions. What you guys do is, for today, I have this program, right? I've given this age. Try to work on this with select case and see. I can show this immediately, but I want you guys to work on this with select case. Try with your own and try to send it to me, or in the next class, we'll discuss on that. Okay, let me save this and then I'll stop here, because next topic will be on loops that we'll see next week.